Hello, 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 hello. How are you today? Hope you guys are having a good day so far. Give me 1 second. I see a lot of people on here, so hello for everybody who is jumping in and saying hello. Oh gosh, we've got a lot to go over today, guys. A whole lot today. So, we're going to talk about some family business first, and then we'll kind of get on with everything. Which I see somebody has already let it out of the bag on the on here, but I wanted to be the first to tell you guys. Wanted to be the first to tell you that today is going to be our last live bead therapy session. A lot of things has happened since, you know, the world went crazy back in March. I started these videos back in March, and I had only planned to do them for 2 weeks. So then that turned into 3 weeks, and then 4 weeks, and we're all the way up to that 10-week point. And it's time. It's time to step away. You know, I'm getting more and more requests to do specific projects that take a good while to come up with and write patterns for them for you guys. It's something that I can't just, you know, do in one day, as well as have the store open and live my life as well. So today is our last day together live for bead therapy, but the good thing is that doesn't mean that I'm going away, because I'm not. I'm absolutely not going to go away. We are going to be doing some fun things together. It's just going to be more, you know, more time in between. So with that being said, I am so grateful to each of you that I've got to spend the last 10 weeks with. It has been a pure joy to spend it with you guys. I've made a lot of new friends here, and you know, it's just all good things must come to an end. So with that being said, I did want to announce that we're going to do a bead along together on Monday, June the 15th. I have come up with a new project called the African Helix Duo Delight Bracelet. African Helix has been around a long time, but I have figured out how to do it with 2 whole beads. So you can see here is one of the samples. It's got the fun little, you can see my duos in there with some size 11 seed beads. So I have some fun samples here of that bracelet. It's a fun bracelet to make, and it really does work up quickly. These clasps make your life so much easier to do, and you can even wear them multiples if you want to. It's completely up to you, kind of what you want to do, but it's a fun project. So I want to tell you a couple of things about the project. Okay, so first of all, you're going to need 2 colors of a size 11 seed bead. You're going to need 7 to 9 grams for what we call the spine bead. So that's everywhere you see that turquoise color here. You are going to need 8 to 10 grams of what we call the accent beads. That's everywhere you see the purple. Okay, so everywhere you see the purple is the accent bead. You are going to need 6 grams of a mini duo bead. Now, you can't put a super duo bead in there. I know some of you's going to try it, but I'm telling you right now, it's not going to work, okay? It needs to be a mini duo bead. So everywhere you see that kind of lime green color, that's our mini duo bead. You're also going to need a 18 millimeter, 12 millimeter inside diameter glue-in end cap. This is this specific type magnetic closure. We sell them on my website. It's a great closure. It makes finishing your piece off super easy. I have worn these bracelets out tons, and the magnetic closure does not come off, so it's wonderful. Now, if you go to order and I'm sold out, because I'm already selling these like hotcakes, so if you go to order and I'm sold out of it, it's okay. Don't freak out on me, all right? It's okay. I will show you a different way to add another clasp, so that way you'll know. You'll also need some E6000 glue, a size 12 needle, and then 3 to 5 yards of thread. Now, with that being said, I wanted to show you something that I did for you guys. I think you'll be very, very happy about it. Let me pull up the website really quickly here so you can see. If you go to the website, so I'm going to flip the camera around here real quick. So, if you go to my website, let's see, offthebeadedpathbeadstore.com, you'll look right here on this main page, June 15th, 2020 E-Class info. So, if you click on that link there, it tells you what you need for it, but then I also put direct links to categories or specific things. So like the clasp, if you need the clasp, all you have to do is click on it and it will take you directly to the clasp. Boom. If you need mini duos and say that's all you need for the project, I put the whole category there, so you can just click on that and it will bring up all the mini duos that we sell. I've also put links on there for you for the instant download pattern and the printed pattern. And I've already got the link to the YouTube video, so that way you can click it and you can set a reminder and it will go and remind you of when that video is going to be taking place. So again, it's really easy to find right there on my website, offthebeadedpathbeadstore.com. Now, I did want to kind of forewarn you, I guess, about the project. I did this with a test class of 16 people. Out of these 16 people, everybody but one completely got it. But most did not bead along with me. It's better if you watch the live first and then do your project. There's a lot of changes that you make for each row that you do. So if you will watch the video first, it's going to help you. The good thing is, if you want to bead along live with me, you can click the middle of your screen and hit the pause button. But if I end the video before you catch up, then you will have to go back to the video again and get to where you were. It's going to be just like these right here with our e-classes. Once the e-class is over, it's going to be instantly uploaded to YouTube and it's going to be public where everybody can see it. So if you don't get it the first time, you've got the video to go back to. And again, I did write a pattern for it, and I put those links on the website to the pattern, and it's the African Helix Duo Delight Bracelet. Again, African Helix has been around for years and years, but I am the first one to throw in some 2-hole beads, and it's really fun, but you kind of have to play along. The other thing that you will need, and I highly will suggest so you can be sourcing it, is you're going to need a wooden dowel. This is a 3/16 wooden dowel. If you don't have this, a boy crochet hook will work, size H. Okay, so those are two things that you want to kind of source before the video. Now, in today's video, let me get I made me a list so I remember to talk about everything I needed to talk about. And again, that e-class is June 15th. I'm going to be doing it at the same time we do our lives here at 1 p.m. Eastern. Now, for today's class, I'm going to be showing you how to make the 3D square with the Chaton inside of it. I did the 3D square last Monday, so I think Jason is here. Thank you, Jason. He's on here, so hopefully Jason will be able to put the link for last week's video. Yes, I will show them. Just give me a second. He'll put the link to last week's video so you'll see that. So if you haven't made your 3D square, you can look back at last week's video. The 3D squares pattern comes out of my 3D shapes ebook. This ebook is on my website, offthebeadedpathbeadstore.com. This is the last week the ebook will be on sale. Okay, so on Saturday of this week it will go off sale, but it is on sale. It's an instant download where you can put it. Now, I'm going to be working today from page 34 of the pattern to show you how to put the Chaton in place. So to do the project today, it's just a size 11 delicate bead, a size 15 Miyuki seed bead is what I highly suggest, and a Chaton. When I flip the camera, we are going to talk about the difference between the Chaton and the Rivoli. And I have had a request to show the bracelets again. So thank you guys for all your kind comments. It's really sweet of you. I will miss our daily talks and our daily chats. But like I said, don't worry, I'm not going away. We'll still be doing some videos. It just won't be all of that. Do you have kits weekend ahead? No, there's no kits. There's no kits for it. But like I said, there's a whole category where you can go and everything shows you. So these are the bracelets. This is what they look like. Once you get the hang of it, it's really, really easy. Until you get the hang of it though, you're like, huh? But once the pattern gets in your head and you understand it, you're gonna be good to go. Because like I said, out of my test group of 16 people, everybody completely got it, but one person. So, okay, so I'm gonna flip the camera around really quick. So if you get motion sickness, just look away for a minute while I get the camera in place. Okay. Whoops. Okay, here we go. Okay, so here is a 3D square that I made yesterday. Okay, somebody's already asking about my board. The board is a board from Reese Stanley, the Bead Wrangler. And so I don't know why I just did that, but this is the 3D square. It's the same exact size that I did in last Monday's video. Okay, same exact size. I used DB 1782 and DB 651. So I used opaque squash and white lined teal AB. I am also going to be using a 15-0 Miyuki Silverline Crystal seed bead for my 15 today. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to lay some of each of these out. And you'll see here I have two separate stones on my tray. I have a 14mm Rivoli and I have an 8mm Chaton. An 8mm Chaton can also be called SS39 size. Okay. So I'm only going to need the one color. I think I'm going to use that color. But I wanted to show you the difference because I had some people ask last week, what's the difference in a Chaton and a Rivoli? So your Rivoli has a point back to it, just like this. But you see it's not a very deep point, okay? It's a shallow point. The Chaton, if you'll see, it has the same shape, but for the size bead it has a very deep point, okay? So it's a much deeper point to your Chaton. The tops look a little bit different as well. It's going to kind of be hard for you to see it. But if I move it around, you can kind of see there's a circle in the center there. See that circle? And then it's cut outwards. Whereas this has just a point in the center and then it goes outward. So you see there's just a little bit different. So instead of the point, it has kind of a flat top to it here as well. So that's the difference between the two pieces. Now, if you wanted to put a Rivoli into your piece, you would need to make the square big enough so that the inside diameter, you could lay this down inside of it, okay? Now, you could work it to put this on there, but to me, it doesn't look as good, and you're more likely to bust the beads. Now, also, I wanted to show you, this is a component. I think this component is in my Memories of Prague ebook that I have on my website. This is a larger size square, and I have taken that component and put it inside of the piece. So it's still inside the square, it's just different. So you can see kind of the difference in the look that you would have. And I'll show you once we get the Chaton, because this one is pretty much completely the same diameter, just a little bit bigger. This one is going to sit up off the square a little bit. So you'll be able to see the difference here in just a few minutes. And again, this component, I think this is in my Memories of Prague ebook. I will double check on that before the end of the video. But I loved that orange. I thought the orange was pretty with that too. So I don't know. Might go back to that. I don't know. But, let me go ahead and take the needle off that. I had some people who were talking on Facebook over the weekend that a lot of you were busting beads. And again, sometimes it's the finish of your bead. It can make them a little bit thinner, but oftentimes it's the tension that you use. If you use a really tight tension, it's going to be hard for some of these beads to lay like they need to, and they're going to bust. So that's why I use the 1G for this project, but you can pretty much use whatever kind of thread you would like. Completely up to you. Somebody said they love my nails. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I love it. This is, I don't even remember, canaries, something about birds. I don't remember the name of it. That's all I remember. The bottom of it said something about birds. It's an OPI color though. Lord, you gotta love their crazy color names. So it's not gonna take much. It's gonna take just a little bit of thread, less than a yard. So I'm just gonna pull out some here. My mama's watching. Hey, mama. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pull out some thread and go ahead and get my needle threaded. Now, I have found over the years that I like using my Yuki brand seed beads to do my encasements with. And it's just because they fit together a little bit better. If you use a Toho seed bead, they can make the encasement a little bit bigger, so I like to use those. So that's why I'm using the Mayuki brand today. And I see Preston's on here today too. Hey Preston, Not So Average Joe, outdoors. All right, so let me get my pattern back here again. All right. Momster is saying, speaking of birds, do you still have your bird? No, our little bird died. I think it was back in 2017. So, okay, here we go. We're going to encase the Chaton. I am using the Laguna, the Crystal Laguna in the Chaton. It's one of my favorite colors. And I'm going to thread on 22 11s. So I'm doing 22 11-0s. No, Preston, I'm not using, I'm not leaving YouTube. Today is going to be my last live bead therapy video. So let's see, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. So even if you counted them out, I highly suggest you recount them and make sure you have 22 beads, okay? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, so 22. So I've got my 22 beads here. And I'm gonna pull these down and I'm gonna make a little knot here. Okay, and I'm being careful. I wanna be real careful not to get any of the thread caught up inside of that knot, or any of my beads, I should say. Okay, so I've got them tied together here in my little circle, and I'm going through one bead next to the knot. So it doesn't matter if I go to the left or if I go to the right, but just remember, whichever way you go, you have to keep going in that direction. So I've got my one bead here. I'm going to thread on 111, skip 111, and go through the next 11. I'm going to repeat this 10 times. So if you're not good at peyote stitch and knowing when to do your step up, so I've got my one bead on here, and I'm going to count out 10 more beads. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So again, if you're not good at doing the step up, count out your beads for your row, and that way when you pick these beads up, you'll be good to go. So I pick up a bead, I skip a bead, and I go through a bead. Okay, just like this. Okay, and I know I'm gonna get some questions probably. The rainbow ring and this ring that I have on are free patterns on my website. This 3D square ring I showed last Wednesday. So there is a free pattern on my website on how to take the square and make it into a ring. Okay, so Forever Purple Creations says that she keeps piercing through her 1G thread. Okay, so I kind of have to see what you're doing to see, because a lot of times it could be something, you know, like a way that you go through a bead or something like that. Also, you have to remember, it's not thermally bonded like a fire line. So if you make a mistake and you have to take the mistake out, you don't use your needle and back out. You take the needle off and pull your thread out. So it's kind of hard for me to say what could possibly be going on, you know, with that without seeing it. Okay, so I've picked up my last bead for my row here. I skip a bead and then I go through a bead. Now some people are going to want to jump and they're going to want to go straight through this bead up here. You can't do that. You have to finish the row. So I'm going to go through the lower bead here, and then you can go through to do your step up. Okay, so I'm going to go through those two beads there at one time. All right, so you can see there what we've got now. It's kind of looking like a, you know, here, there, and everywhere. But the good thing is now we're going to be doing our 15s, okay? So from where we're at, we're going to pick up a 15, and I'm going to go through the next 11 that's sticking out here on my row. And I'm going to kind of pull that thread. And I'm going to go around just picking up a 15 and going through the next 11 sticking up. Pick up a 15, go through the next 11. And as you work, you want to start kind of pulling that thread, so that way they'll start kind of standing up. Okay, so see what's happening there? Kathy Dorr, yes. I added 11 total beads in the first row. The first time we picked up, or I should say our very first row was 22 beads. So to start it, we picked up 22 beads, and then after that, we added 11 beads for the row. Now, if you have a hard time and you can't hold it, you know, like this, or you keep trying to press down on it, you can use something like a pencil or something like that to kind of help you to hold things in place. This is just a plain number 2 pencil, and that's going to be about the diameter of what you're doing. And it's the same thing, Kathy, with these 15s. I'm adding 11 of the 15s. Okay, so again, this will just like something about the size of this number 2 pencil will just kind of help you if you have a hard time holding on to your piece. Okay, now I'm back to the center here, or the beginning. I'm going to go through the last bead on the row, and then I'm going to step up through the first 15 that I added on the row. So I'm going through 2 beads here. Oh, I see Miss Carolyn's on here today. Miss Carolyn has actually made this falling off the edge pendant. She's made the whole thing, and it was in white, and it was absolutely gorgeous. Okay, so at this point, your piece should definitely be a 3D ring like this, kind of cupped all the way around. So now we're going to work another row of 15s. So we pick up a 15 and we go through the next 15 sticking up. And at this point, you don't really want to have it on a form or anything like that, because you really need this second row of 15s to really pull in and kind of lay down like this. So I'm just going to keep on, pick up and go through. You really want to pull the thread tight. This is what's going to hold our chaton in place, so really pull it tight. You can see kind of how I'm holding on to the side. I'm not squishing it, so I'm just holding on to the side of it. Okay. And I'm almost back around here. If any of you hear anything in the background, which I don't think you can, but if you hear anything, Grayson's here at the shop with us today. He's watching cartoons downstairs. Okay, so I'm back to the beginning, and I can't go through this top bead here. That's my step up, so I have to go through the lower 15. So it was the first bead on the previous row. So I have to go. Okay. So when you get it done, this is what it's going to look like. Oh, Doreen says she's got one of those ultimate bead boards coming. Doreen, you're going to love it. You're absolutely going to love it. Okay, So now I need to stitch through the beads to come through any of these kind of up beads, what I call up, the ones that are sticking up. I need to come out of the up beads, any one of these on the back side. So I'm just going to kind of go through my beads at a diagonal to get there. Okay. Now, you want to lay your Chaton in face down. So when you lay it down, just like this, it's going to fit really easily in there. And you're going to see the back of it. So the front, and now this is what we're going to call the back. And I'm going to hold the Chaton in place. So I'm going to pinch it between my fingers here. And now I'm going to do 2 rows of 15s. So we're going to pick up a 15 and go through the next bead, sticking up. And as you work, make sure to pull the thread tight. Okay, Wildcat, why do some designs call for the circle you just made and others just go through a few beads to create a circle? I honestly think it's how the person prefers to do it. There's not really a big, I guess one of the reasons why I say just to tie these into a circle instead of going back through all the beads again is because we're going to already go through these beads a couple of times and we don't want to plug up, do a lot of thread pass basically through that first row. Because if you go through the beads again, you're going to do a lot of thread pass. Now, you'll see there's some designs that I do where I say go through, add your 22 beads and go through them again. So I just think, it's just a preference of the designer. But like I said, you're going to go back to, I think, that center row to attach and kind of tack your rivoli in place. So you want to make sure you've got plenty of thread pass to be able to get through it. Okay, so you see what it's starting to do there. Okay, so once I get that first row, you can see now how it's really pulled down and it's tacked together. So now I'm going to do one more row. So I'm just going to pick up a 15 and go through a 15 sticking up. All right, Diana says, really enjoy these daily classes. Maybe you could consider once a week. Honestly, right now, I just need some time for me because we can't even plan, we have to plan everything around videos right now. So, Diana, I don't know what that's going to look like, but I'm not going to be leaving y'all for good, so don't worry. If you're just now joining in us with the live video, make sure you go back and watch the replay at the beginning of the video because I made a couple of announcements at the beginning of the video. So make sure you catch that. Okay, and so you can see here how this is turning out. I'm not going to cover the back of this Chaton completely because it's not going to touch the skin. This will kind of sit a little bit on top of your square, just like this. So it's not going to touch any part of the skin. Even if you put it on, like if you were to put it on your ring, tack it, it's not going to touch the skin. So you don't have to cover up the complete back of it. Now, were it going to touch the skin, I would make sure I covered up the complete back part of my Chaton here, because if not, and someone has a lot of acidity in their skin, the acidity in their skin can actually take off the backing of the Chaton. So just be aware, if it was going to be something that was going to touch the skin, I would have made sure to encase this completely. And I'm almost back around. I have one bead left to add. And remember, I have to finish the row, so I'm going through this 15 here. Not this one up here, but this one here. Okay. So, easy peasy. We have our Chaton encased. Oh, I love it. I love, love, love it. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead before I do anything else. I'm going to go ahead and I am going to thread a needle onto this short tail thread. And then I'm going to stitch through a few beads. Yeah, Jason, we are going to be gone for a week in June. We always go away for Father's Day week. I don't want to disclose the location, honestly, just because I try to have some safety. So I don't want to disclose the place, but we are going to go away for a week. I am looking for suggestions though. The last 2 years I've been at Prague the 1st of December, and I want to take Grayson and Sammy somewhere in the United States that would be fun for a just a fun vacation close to Christmas. So if you have any of those suggestions, please let me know of where I should come and visit. That would be awesome for that. Margaret, I do not stock those types of beads. All right, so this is done. If I lay it down over my 3D square, I am loving it. I am super happy with it. So it's really easy at this point. We're going to tack the piece together. And I actually show in the pattern, step 13, you will now be tacking the Chaton to the small square. Go through a delicate on the square next to where the Chaton touches it. And basically what we're doing is we're just going through a Chaton or a 11-0 delicate here on your Rivoli and on your Chaton and on your square. And you just want to tack it in several places. So let me find my thread here. Let me get my needle threaded back on. Come to New Mexico, Albuquerque, Williamsburg, the North Pole. Oh, Shirley Moore. Yes, Shirley, we actually have we've had season passes for years to Dollywood. We just want to go somewhere different. And who knows if Dollywood will be open by the end. Okay, so I am going to stitch through to come out of any of these single row delicate beads. So you can see here I have like a two bead row and a single row, a 2 bead row and a single row. So if you don't know where to attach it, you can also, and it may actually work better for me to attach it at the lower bead here. So the lower delicate. So here's this, and you can see I'm just coming out of a lower delicate in a stack of 2. Now I'm going to take and I'm going to lay the Chaton. I'm going to center it over my piece, and I'm going to tack that bead to a bead right where my thread's coming out at. So you can see here, my thread is coming out of this bead, and I need to tack it to this bead here. So my thread's coming out to the right, so I'm gonna go through that bead right there from right to left. Now this is where you gotta be really careful, okay? Gotta be really, really careful. Patience. Patience is a virtue here. You've got to be very careful that, especially if you're like me and you're a tight stitcher, that you don't bust that bead. So take your time. If it doesn't want to go through it, don't force it to go through it. Okay. And then pull this through. And so I can kind of keep this pulled back so you can see it. So that bead that I'm coming out of here, now I'm going to come back through that same bead. Just that one bead, so that it kind of makes that circle there. You see how it's connected. So when I pull this tight, now those two beads are connected. Okay, so now I'm not going to go through it again. We're tacking the piece down, so I'm not going to go through it again. So I'm going to come back, keep going. Oh, Jason, that would be a long drive, buddy. I would love it if you would come and visit the store, but whew, that's a long drive from Florida. Think about 16, 17 hours, something like that. Okay, so I'm just going to continue around. And I left my thread attached here because I don't know what I'm going to make this yet, what it's going to turn into. So I'm just going to keep going. Now, if you want to add this to your ring, what you might want to do is to tack it here and here, the top and the bottom, instead of the sides, just here and here. So that way, if you want the Chaton in your ring, you can have it there as well. Okay, so I'm just kind of holding it in place, and I'm going to go through that lower bead there, right where I'm coming out. Oh, Jason, I don't think that's right. I think Google Maps might be playing a trick on you. Okay, so again, I'm just going to tack the bead where I'm coming out. I'm going to tack it in place. I could be wrong though, Jason, but I think it's a little bit more than that. Okay, so I'm just going to continue to work around, tacking that in place all the way around. And then all you would have to do is tie off your thread and decide what you want to do with your piece. So it would make a really cute ring. It would make a really cute ring. Lots and lots of fun things that you could do with this component, but you just continue to tack and then you've got it. You would be good to go. And voila, adding it too. Now, like I said, let's see. Mary says it's close 8 to 10 hours. Well, there we go. Okay, Kathy, I'm using a size 10. Is the Chaton too heavy to make earrings? No, absolutely. It is not heavy whatsoever. This is really, really light. So no, it is absolutely not too heavy for an earring. I think you would be really, really good for an earring. Okay. All right. Now, I do want to tell you, if you want to put something bigger in this, all you would need to do is remember from last week's video where I showed you how to make this square. You would just need to add a bigger, Lord, my NyQuil hadn't worn off from last night. Here on your sides, you would need to add more beads in an odd amount. So when you lay your beads out, you would basically want the diameter, once you kind of made your square, you would need the diameter to be big enough to where you could put your Chaton in and still have a row of beads around it if you wanted to tack it in place. So just make sure that you keep testing the sides to make sure that it's good, and you'll be good to go. Okay, all right, I'm going to turn the camera here around for just a minute. Okay. All right, guys. Well, I hope you enjoyed learning how to add your Chaton to the 3D square. It's super easy, as you can see. And again, if you want directions, step-by-step directions on what we just did, it's in the 3D Shapes ebook. Yes, that's it. The 3D Shapes ebook, and it is available still on sale just through this week on my website, Off the Beaded Path, beadstore.com. Now, again, if you jumped in late, remember to watch the replay of the video to find out about the new bead along that we're going to do on June 15th, 1 p.m. Eastern. So guys, thank you so much for watching, and thank you for those of you who have been with me through this pandemic. You know, I think that you know, I think we've got each other through, and it's been so nice, the friendships we've been able to keep and to make. Okay, I'm answering a question real quick. Pat says, how do you keep your beautiful beadboard clean? Lots of people have given suggestions in previous videos about that, Pat, but Jill Wiseman also has a video on that if you want to check out Jill's video. She has a video all about how to clean your boards. So again, guys, thank you so much. If you get a chance, please make sure to hit that up thumb button. And also, if you're not, please make sure you subscribe to the channel so that way you get updates on all of the videos. So guys, thank you so much for watching. Y'all have a great day, and we'll see you next time. I'll try to make sure to give you a good heads up that I'm going to be live. Bye, guys.